Did the Sens just play their most complete game of the season tonight? I'm gonna go ahead and say yes. That was very impressive. You know, regardless of what the result is, whether it's a win or a loss, I always like to look at the game, assess it, and just ask, like, what didn't I like? What would I change? What would I do differently? Um, I don't know if I can find any complaints about this one tonight. Now, mind you, yes, it was against Pittsburgh. They have been struggling big time lately, but this is about as close to a perfect game as you're going to see. So, Thursday, December 18th, the Sens played their 33rd game of the season against the Pittsburgh Penguins. It was a 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern start time. It was the first meeting of the season between these two teams. It was Linus Ullmark in net for the Sens and Arders Shilovs in net for the Penguins, so no Stuart Skinner tonight. So the Sens were 15, 13, and 4 coming into tonight, 6, 6, and 2 at home, make it 7, 6, and 2 at home. And the Penguins, really bizarre record here. So they were 14, 9, and 9 coming into tonight, now 14, 10, and 9. And they had a good road record, so they're 8, 3, and 4 on the road coming into tonight. So they got a good road record. So, milestone alert here. It was the 400th career game for number 18. And yes, I know I've been wearing this jersey a lot lately, but it's kind of been good luck, and Stützle has been on fire tonight, and he had another good night tonight. So, lineup notes here. The lineup did not change for the Sens. Also, Malkin did not play tonight for the Penguins, so that's a big loss for them. So, good for the Sens. So Shabbat and Pinto are still not playing, but they have started to skate. So I don't know when exactly we'll see them back in the lineup. And they also said that Eller will be out for another 3 weeks. So kind of unfortunate there, but this team, they're starting to pick up some momentum here. They're getting some wins. And again, this game, this is about as perfect of a game as you're going to see. Like the Senators, the Ottawa Senators, getting a shutout. Never in a million years. Not actually a million years, but yeah, this is the team's first shutout of the season, and I don't know. Like, I don't know what you can complain about in this game tonight if you're a Sens fan. This was phenomenal. Alright, so let's go ahead and break down tonight's game and get into the stats. So the Senators beat the Penguins by a score of 4-0 at home. Penguins are now 14, 10, and 9 on the season. The Sens are now 16, 13, and 4. So, again, like, what can you complain about tonight, right? So, getting into the stats here, the stats are not like skewed in Ottawa's favor that heavily. So the shots were 26-23 in favor of the Sens. The Sens do well once again in the faceoff dot, 55.1% compared to 44.9% for the Penguins. Penalty minutes were 6-4 in favor of the Sens having the fewest. Hits were 21-18 in favor of the Penguins. Block shots 14-11 in favor of the Penguins. Giveaways, check this one out. 22 giveaways. I'm double checking the site here, just making sure the stats are all the same. Yes, 22 giveaways for the Penguins and 10 for the Sens. Takeaways were 4-3 in favor of the Penguins having the most. And these two teams will not meet again for a little while, not till February 2nd, and that will be in Pittsburgh. So you can tell watching this game and looking at the giveaway amount, this is definitely a team that has been struggling. So you might look at this and think, oh, okay, well, you beat the Penguins 4-0, so what? They've been struggling. But look, we know how close the standings are. It doesn't matter who is playing. It doesn't matter how much they've been struggling. Anybody can beat anybody on any given night, regardless of what the heck's going on, like injuries, whatever. So I don't want to take anything away from this win, because this was very impressive. Like, I was very impressed. Really not too much to complain about here. So we will go ahead and go through my notes here. So Stützle would make a strong play to the net, and that shot was stopped by Shilovs. And then on this play, Shilovs would actually end up tripping Stützle. so the Sens would go to the power play. So there was a pass down low to Batherson, and he would make a very nice backhanded pass to Tkachuk right in front, and he would score on the power play. So the Sens go up early in this game. So Tkachuk scoring on the power play, 2:16 into the first period. Batherson and number 18, Stützle drawing the assist there, and the Sens go up 1-0, and you'll love to see a power play goal early too, at home. That's what you want to see, right? And also, this was Tkachuk's first home goal of the season, so of course he was injured for a while there, so yeah, that's his first home goal of the season, so good to see. So Pittsburgh's first shot would not come until about the 4:15 mark of the first period. So this is a pretty good start for the Sens here, I'm thinking. So this ends up being a pretty good save by Ullmark too. It was a shot that was tipped, and Ullmark had to make a pretty good save there. So Ottawa early on, they are very aggressive early in this game, and I'm loving it. I'm just like, this is what you want to see as the home team, right? I always say as the road team, you want to do your best to try to take the crowd out of it, try to maybe not make it like a sleepy kind of game, but you know what I mean? You want to take the crowd out of it. But if you're the home team, you want to come out flying. You want to be aggressive. And that's what they were doing. And again, this was just an impressive game all around tonight. So there was an Ottawa shot that was blocked, and then Stützle gets to the rebound, and he would shoot this just off the outside of the net, so that could have easily went in too. Stützle was everywhere again tonight. He's been everywhere lately in every game. So the Penguins would gain the zone, and this was very close to offside. I'm not sure if it was or not. So Heinen would end up getting a shot that would go off the post here. So it didn't matter at the end of the day. I don't know if that was offside or not, but it was very close. But he would end up hitting the post there. So the Sens, they would get hemmed in a little bit in their own end. There was a strong shift by Pittsburgh here. Then Wotherspoon would get a good look that was stopped by Ullmark. So the Penguins are starting to push a little bit. So there was a scrambling play in the Pittsburgh end, and they're having difficulties clearing the zone. And the Sens are still playing very aggressively. And right around here, even though we're still pretty early in the game, right? But you can see why this team has been struggling. The Penguins, that is. Of course, they had that absolute meltdown against the Sharks not long ago. So yeah, you can tell they've been struggling. I believe they lost 7 in a row now after tonight. So, but again, like I said earlier, this is a league where anybody can beat anybody on any given night, so you never want to take anyone lightly. So Pittsburgh would have a shot that was stopped, and then the rebound goes off the post. So a couple of posts for Pittsburgh, and if that shot or the other post earlier goes in, this could have been a completely different game. Now on this one here, I thought Ullmark got across and made that save. So if he did save it, that would have been insane, because he slid over and he reaches out like this, and I thought he stopped it at first, but the replay showed it actually hit the post and then hit Ullmark. He was lucky it didn't bounce in off his arm and go in the net, but yeah, that was another close call as well for the Penguins. So Batherson would come around from behind the net, and he would backhand a shot with Shilov's down and out, but he would reach up and make a heck of a save here. And that could have easily been 2-0 for the Sens, so big save for Shilov's there. So the puck would get chipped behind Matt and Paulo, and he would end up taking a holding penalty on Brazeau here. So I got a little bit nervous here. So Pittsburgh, here's a stat for you. Pittsburgh has the #1 road power play in the NHL. And we all know how bad the Sens penalty kill has been. So I'm like, okay, I'm not feeling great about this. The Penguins do threaten, but the Sens do kill it off. They do get a couple of chances. And then shortly after that power play expires, there was a wraparound attempt by the Penguins. I didn't put who the player was. I think it might have been Heinen, I'm not sure. But that was stopped by Ullmark. That was a good save by him. So we do end the first period. The Sens have a 1-0 lead, and it's a kind of a low event first period. Not a whole lot going on. the shots are just 8-7 for Pittsburgh, but I think you're feeling pretty good at this point if you're a Sens fan. Um, you probably don't like the fact that they're getting outshot 8-7, but you got the lead. You're not giving up a whole lot, like not too many good chances. There were a couple of posts, but I think overall at this point you're feeling pretty good, right? Got a shutout going, which by the way, I did not mention that word once tonight because I didn't want to jinx anything, because yes, I do believe in jinxes. So we roll into the second period, and the second period has been a bit of a problem lately, right? And you know how I said before in previous videos that you never know what you'll get with this team in the second period. Tonight was not a struggle in the second period. So a minute 34 into the second period, Spence would have the puck in the corner. He would throw the puck in front, and this would go in off the skate of Perron for a 2-0 Sens lead. It's a bit of a weird one. It's a bit of a fluke. There's kind of like a nothing play. Like Spence just throws it to the net and it goes in off a skate, and you got a 2-0 lead. We'll take it. So David Perron scores his 5th of the season at the 134 mark from Spence and Batherson. I don't know if I mentioned it, by the way, but that first goal by Tkachuk was his 3rd of the season. So go ahead and throw that in there. So yeah, the Sens have a 2-0 lead, and we are just a minute and a half into the second period. So I'm like, okay, this is amazing. So then, this was a weird play here. So Greg would have the puck in the offensive zone, and he would try to cycle the puck for Amadio, and Amadio, he misses the puck. He's not even looking the right way. Like, he doesn't even see the pass coming towards him, and it goes off his skate. It never touches the blade of his stick. So it goes off his skate. Again, not even looking at the puck. He's looking the wrong way. And then Giroux would pick this up and he would score 5-hole. I'm like, what the heck just happened? This is a like weird play here. A couple of weird goals at the start of the period. But again, we take it. So 4:50 into the second period, Claude Giroux scores his 6th of the season from Amadio and Greg. And we got a 3-0 lead here off of, again, 2 strange goals here at the start of the second period. So I'm like, dang, okay. And I put here after this goal, I was thinking we might see a goalie change here, but we don't. Shilovs does end up playing the entire game. Because I think that's it was 3 goals on, I didn't put it down, but 3 goals on 9 shots, maybe 10 shots. And I don't know, there were some weird ones there. So, but they do keep Shilovs in. Of course, he would only let in 1 more. Actually, well, the other one was an empty netter, which we'll get to. But yeah, so the Sens are pressing very early in this period, and I'm just looking at this, I'm like, holy cow, this because the second period has been a bit of an issue lately, so this is very impressive. So Giroux would get a partial breakaway, and he was stopped. So this, again, the Sens are pressing, and again, you can see why the Penguins have been struggling lately. So then, back the other way, the puck would go into the defensive zone for the Sens, and then Giroux, who is everywhere now apparently, Giroux would end up tripping Crosby. By the way, Crosby is, I could be mistaken here, 1 point behind, I forget who is 8th place now all time in points. Now I feel dumb for not knowing this, because they just showed this I don't know how many times. Was it Lemieux? No, I know he's close to Lemieux, passing him in points. I don't know if it was Lemieux or somebody else, but yeah, top 9 all-time in points. We all know how good Crosby has been, and he had a pretty quiet night tonight, which I'm a fan of. So anyways, getting off topic here a little bit. So yes, Giroux would trip up Crosby. The Sens would go to the penalty kill, and this ends up being kind of a bad power play for the Penguins. So the Sens would get a 2-on-1 shorthanded, and Dylan Cousins, he would just end up missing the net here. And then still on the penalty kill, Stützle would get a breakaway on the same penalty kill, and he would end up hitting the post here. And I put in my notes, Pittsburgh, they have nothing going on this power play at all. I'm just like, wow, this is what is happening. Again, second period being a problem for the Sens lately, and this is the best road power play in the league, and they just have nothing going. So I'm like, guys, this is impressive. Keep it up. So Pittsburgh would have a point shot that would go in, but it would get waved off for goalie interference. Now, initially, right away, I'm like, okay, this is not going to count. There's no way. So um, the puck goes in. It does get waved off. That's the call on the ice. So Pittsburgh would end up challenging this for it not being goalie interference. So it was Sanderson and Raquel. They were having a battle, and they kind of collided with Allmark. Not like a vicious collide, like a collision, but they would bump into him. And I'm looking at this on the replay, and I'm like, this is kind of 50-50 to me, because I don't know. Because, like, was Raquel being pushed in by Sanderson? Maybe a little bit. I don't know. I really feel like this could have went either way, and I'm thinking, I thought this was going to count. I really thought this was going to count because, like, just given the score and all that. But this does end up being waved off. It's waved off. So, of course, because the Penguins challenged it and they lost the challenge, the Sens go to the power play. So, Dylan Cousins, that is, he would have a nice one-timer. That was a good save by Shilovs. And Sanderson would end up getting hit into the boards kind of awkwardly here. He was kind of turning, got hit into the boards awkwardly, but he does end up getting up and he was okay, thankfully. He also took a puck in the throat earlier in the game, so he had a bit of an interesting night tonight, but he ends up being okay. Nothing serious came out of that, so could have been a lot worse though for sure, especially that hit. So the Sens would get a shot that was stopped, and then Halliday would get the rebound chance, and he has a wide open net here. So he takes it to the backhand, wide open net, but then Letang comes in with his stick, and he saves a goal. This would have been Halliday's first career NHL goal, so that close to getting it. By the way, I really like what I've been seeing from Halliday. Keep playing him, please. So we end the second period, and listen to this. The shots in the second period, 12-4 for the Sens. Yeah, like that's crazy. Again, in a period where the Sens have been struggling, 12-4. Just very impressive all around. So we move on to the third period, and we are 5 minutes into the period, and the shots are just 1-0 Pittsburgh. That's it. And I'm thinking, I got this in my notes here. This is perfect for the Sens. There's nothing going on. It's a very low event first period. And Pittsburgh at this point, they have gone 16 minutes, and they have just one shot in the last 16 minutes. Just, again, I'm not going to take anything away from the Sens win tonight, obviously, but you can see why Pittsburgh has been struggling lately. Still a very impressive job just shutting it down. And maybe this would be the one thing I don't like about this game. Like, maybe this part right here, right? Like, maybe you want to see the Sens try a little bit more offensively, but you got the 3-0 lead, and you're not giving up a lot, right? Like, it's one thing if you're sitting back and you're just kind of relying on your goalie, but they were just locking it up. Like, again, Pittsburgh's got one shot in 16 minutes. So, maybe this is the one thing you're concerned about, but I'm not too worried about it because, again, no shots, 3-0 lead at this point, so just keep it up. That's all I'm thinking. And again, I never said the word shutout once tonight until it was over, so Crosby would have a chance all alone in front, and he would go to the backhand. That was stopped by Allmark. That was a really good chance for Crosby. That was probably the most he did all night tonight, honestly, Crosby, which it's good if you're a Sens fan. So Ottawa's first shot of the period, that is, comes a little over 8 minutes into the period, so again, and maybe you do want to see them try a bit more offensively, but it's okay, right? Because you're not giving up a lot. You got a 3-0 lead. It's not going to hurt you. So, of course, that shot was stopped by Shilovs. Pittsburgh would gain the zone, and they would get a shot. This was a nice pad save by Allmark. and then they would get another shot. It was deflected, and this shot would end up going off the mask of Allmark. And right around here, I thought maybe the tide might start to change a little bit, but thankfully it didn't. So now this play here. So the Penguins go to pull Sheeloss with a little over 6 minutes left, and I didn't even notice at first. I had no clue he was even going. Nobody said anything, and then so the camera is it's looking at the defensive zone for the Sens, right? So Kachuk gets the puck, and the camera's following the puck, following the play, and then I look at the Pittsburgh net, and I'm like, oh, it's empty. Okay, I'm like, what? So Sheeloss was going to the bench. He wasn't even at the bench yet, and then he tries to escape back because he sees that the play is coming back the other way. So Kachuk takes the puck into the zone, and he has a wide open net, and he scores the empty netter. So it's like, okay, that's about as easy as it's gonna get for Kachuk. So again, it looked weird because like I didn't even realize they were pulling him. The commentators, I was watching this on TSN. Nobody said anything about it. And again, we go to the offensive zone time or the offensive zone for the Sens, and the net's wide open. I'm like, oh, okay. So that would give the Sens a 4-0 lead, which ends up being their final, of course. So Brady Tkachuk ends up scoring his second of the game at the 13:55 mark. It was an empty netter from Jensen and Matt and like, okay, it's an easy one there. So, shortly after that goal, Ottawa would get a 3-on-1. They don't get a shot here. I'm like, holy cow, this could have been 5-0 here. And then there was a wraparound shot that was stopped by Allmark, wraparound by Heinen, that is. It was stopped. And then the Sens would get a shot that was stopped, and then Kachuk would just miss the rebound here, looking for that hat trick. So close to getting that hat trick. So the Penguins would end up taking a roughing penalty with 53 seconds left in the game. Nothing would really come out of that, and that was pretty much it. That's pretty much it. So the shots in that third period end up being 12-7 in favor of Pittsburgh. And overall, just checking right now, I have 26-23 on the layout. It's actually 26-24. So again, they like to update stuff later on, but not a big deal. Anyways, again, this is their most complete game of the season, and I don't think it's a question personally. The only possible thing I could find to complain about is like maybe you want to see them try a bit more offensively in the third period, but again, they're not giving up a whole lot, and they got a 3-0 lead, so I wasn't too worried about it. Outside of that, I would say this is about as close to a perfect game as you're going to see. So just a very, very impressive win for the Sens tonight. So let's go to the box score, and we'll see if it actually works this time. Yes, it is. Okay, good. All right, so, let me read the stats first. Or not the stats, the 3 stars. So 3 stars of the game. Obviously, first star of the game was Linus Ullmark with the shutout, his first shutout of the season, the Sens' first shutout of the season as a team. Second star of the game was the captain, Tkachuk, with 2 goals. And third star of the game was Batherson with 2 assists. Okay, now let's look at the box score. So for the forwards, let's see here. So we have Tkachuk with 2 goals, Batherson with 2 assists, Stützle and Amadio with 1 assist each. Greg also had an assist, and Giroux and Perron with 1 goal. And then on the defensive side of things, we got Jensen, Spence, and Matt all with 1 assist. Plus minus, wow, every defenseman was +1. Look at that. Actually, hang on a second. Wow. So every player was +1 tonight, except for McDermott, Halliday, and Nick Cousins. They were even. How about that? That's kind of crazy to see. Just a bunch of +1s, and then that one line was even because they don't play a whole lot. But wow, that's really cool actually. I don't know. I'm so fascinated by that. But Time on ice. So leading the forwards in time on ice was Stutzla with 1926. And leading the defensemen in ice time was actually Zub, not Sanderson tonight. Sanderson played less, 21-27. I know he did take that hit, the awkward hit, and then there was the puck in the throat and all that. So he played 21-27. Zub played 22-10, which led the defense and led all skaters. Alright, so shots, most shots in the game for forwards was Tkachuk with 5. And most shots for defensemen was Clevin with 2. Most blocks by defensemen was Matt and Paulo. He had 3. And leading the forwards in blocks was Halliday with 2. Love to see that. Leading the forwards in hits was both of the Cousins, Nick Cousins and Dylan Cousins, with 3 each. And then leading the defense in hits was Clevin with 2. And of course, Ullmark stops 24 out of 24 shots for the shutout. Oh man, it feels so great to see that, man, because Ullmark, it feels like there have been so many games this season where Ullmark or Merlainen have had bad save percentages, so just seeing that 1,000 save percentage, oh, it feels good, man. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. The Sens will be back at it again on Saturday. This is going to be an afternoon game. Note the start time. So this one I am looking forward to. So it's going to be against the Chicago Blackhawks, Saturday, December 20th, 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern start time. And I say I'm looking forward to this one because, well, they kind of got embarrassed last time these two teams played each other. It did not go well for the Sens, so yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. And Bedard is also hurt. I don't know if he's going to be back for that game. I know he didn't play tonight. So, yeah, if Chicago is missing him, then it's going to be a big advantage for the Sens there. So, yeah, this is just literally the closest you're going to see to a perfect win. Again, the only possible thing I can find to complain about is maybe you want to see them try a bit more offensively in the third period, but that 4-0 win, man, on home ice too, which makes it even better. And again, you can look at it and be like, okay, well, it's 4-0 against Pittsburgh, a team that has been struggling quite a bit lately. I do believe their losing streak is at 7 now. I can check. I was going to look at the standings anyways. Yeah, Pittsburgh is 2-4-4 in their last 10. It says their current streak is 2 losses, so there's some overtime losses in there too. But meanwhile, the Sens, they are now 7-6-2 at home, 4-6 in their last 10, but they have won their last 2. They have started to look better lately, so hopefully that is a sign of what's to come. And then looking at Chicago quickly here, Chicago, they've been struggling as well. So they are 13-15-6, 3-6-1 in their last 10. They've lost 4 in a row. So maybe another advantage for the Sens here. So we'll see how that goes. Another afternoon game for the Sens, and I do believe after that they are back on the road for 1 or 2 more games. I think they have, I want to say 2 more games on home ice before Christmas. Let me check that real quick before I end it. Let's see here. Schedule. Yes. So the Sens have 3 more games before Christmas. 2 are at home, and 1 is on the road. That being on Sunday, actually, in Boston. That's going to be a back-to-back there. So, which I feel like the Sens haven't had a back-to-back in quite a while. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here, guys. Absolutely just solid, complete game tonight. Nothing to complain about for me. 4-0, Sens take it over the Pittsburgh Penguins, and they will be back at it again on Saturday afternoon to face the Chicago Blackhawks at home. So I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and go Sens go.